110 is on solving multiplication and division equations. Very comparable to yesterday's lesson on 1-9. Only difference is we're working with multiplication and division. Two steps that we'll have again today. The first step is again to identify the side with the variable. Remember, the sides are distinguished by the equal sign. And the whole purpose of solving equations is to get our variable alone. Second step is what changes today. Instead of adding and subtracting, we're multiplying and dividing. So to get rid of any multiplication or division, to the side with the variable. And again, this is done using inverse operations. So if it's being multiplied, we need to divide. Looking at our first example, we have 7z equals negative 49. We look at the left side is the side that has the variable, so we need to get z alone. In order to get z alone here, we see that 7 is being multiplied into the z, so we actually need to divide. A lot of people want to say divide by 7, divide by 7. I say get out of that habit, and let's do this. So if you have 7 on this side, and let's say you had to divide it by 7 or divide it by a different number. Let's say we said divide by 8. Okay, look at this. What is this called? Well, that is called a fraction. Okay, this bar means to divide. Get in the habit of writing it as a fraction and dividing there. It'll help you out in the long run when we get into some more complex problems or if we're working with fractions. So we want to divide by 7. Equal sign lines up. Equal sign helping us out, saying that, yep, we're doing it to both sides. So lines up. 7's cancel out. We're left with z equals negative 49. And again, you can check your answer just like we worked through yesterday. Go ahead and, sorry, this is actually negative 7. So you can go ahead and put your answer or solution, which is negative 7, back into your problem above. Example 2, we have 8a equals negative 64. The left side has our variable. It's being multiplied, so therefore we need to divide. And we need to divide both sides by 8. Equal sign lines up. 8's cancel. We're left with a equals negative 8. So negative 8 is our solution. Example 3, we have c divided by 9 equals negative 64. Need to get c alone. C is the side with our variable, so the left side. Now, the thing that is happening to c right now is it's being divided by 9. So instead of division, we need to do the inverse, which would be to multiply. Get in the habit of writing your multiplication with a dot or set of parentheses. Reason being is if you use x, sometimes people get confused as when they get into the more complex problem, they'll be like, is that an operation, meaning multiplication, or is that a variable, meaning x? So I like to use it something like that. Again, equal sign is going to line up. That'll cancel out. You're left with c equals negative 54. So negative 6 times our 9 over there. Last generic example here, so we need to get x by itself. Right now division is happening, so we need to multiply by a negative 5. You can't multiply by just 5, because if you multiply by just 5, the only thing that would cross out is your 5's. We need the 5's and the negatives to cancel out, because we need to get x by itself. So again, multiply by negative 5 to both sides. Equal sign lines up. Your negative 5's cancel, leaving you with x. On the right side, we had negative 10 times negative 5, which gives us 50. Last example, tying everything together with integers, word problems, and solving equations here. Royalty. On a trip, the Bomback family drove at an average rate of 62 miles per hour. Write and solve a multiplication equation. Write and solve a multiplication equation to find out how long it took to drive 150 miles from Frankfurt, Germany to the family castle in Netterhausen. So we need to figure out how long it took them. We do not know how long it took them. Therefore, we assign a variable. How long is talking about a time, so I will use T for time. Now, a lot of people in this problem, they're like, oh, I know what to do. I need to take my mileage, 150, and don't write this down, divided by 62, and that's going to give me my time. Yes, that is an equation, but it is not a multiplication equation. That is a division equation. So we need an equation with multiplication. In order to do this, you may have heard of the equation distance equals rate times time. Distance, your distance, d, hinges or equals your rate, meaning your speed, times your time. Okay? Your rate times your time would give you your distance. And this is just an easy example here. Let's say you went 50 miles per hour, and you drove at that speed for 3 hours. So how far did you go? Well, 50 times my 3 hours gives me 150 miles per hour. Okay? So your rate of 50 miles per hour times your time gives you your distance. In this problem, we know some of the criteria above. We know that our distance is 150 miles. So I'm going to put 150 in for D there. R is your rate or your speed. Well, we're traveling at 62 miles per hour. T, your time, is what is unknown. So there's T. Now you have a multiplication equation. Now you can go ahead and solve this equation. In order to solve it, you need to get T by itself. In order to do that, we would divide both sides by 62 to get T by itself. Your 62s would cancel out, leaving you with T. On the other side, you have 150 divided by 62. And I know it doesn't go into it evenly, so you'll have to go ahead and get a decimal and round, we'll say round to the nearest, I don't know, tenth, which would give us 2.4. Now, this is a time, therefore we need a label. Also a rule of thumb. If it has a paragraph, more than likely it will need a label. And our time is 2.4 hours. This will conclude our lesson on 110, and I bet you did not even know that you were actually in the classroom with royalty here. Okay, this is a picture of the Bamberg Castle. We have a little home page here. Let's see if I can get her going. There it is. Are you a Bamberg? Actually, we'll go to the home page. Different things to look. Bamberg family history. Let me see here. First name. We'll scroll down. And right here. Look at that. You didn't even know that you were in the classroom with royalty. But that concludes our lesson on 110. By the way, my autograph goes top shelf. Buka bucks on eBay, so you might want to check it out.